Welcome everyone to our Breakfast Club call. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host on this beautiful Thursday morning. It is the last Thursday in May. Oh my goodness, crazy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're joining us once again, welcome home. I remember when I first embarked upon the journey of entrepreneurship going on 12 years. I was looking forward to these type of morning mentorship calls. Not only was I looking forward to these type of calls because of the information I was going to receive, but I was looking forward to these type of calls because of the inspiration I was going to receive. See, I know that our subconscious mind is open the most in the morning and at night. So garbage in is garbage out, and greatness in is greatness out. And how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So kudos to each and every single one of you guys that decided to start your morning off with some fire this morning, with some positivity, with some greatness. As we are getting started, make sure you are sharing this with a friend. A lot of us are part of the same community, but that does not mean that your friends cannot get value from what this is. So, last week we spoke about affirming the call and not the approval. The last couple of weeks we've been talking about, hey, making sure that you're not getting burnt out. We've been talking about performance, talking about mindset, talking about all of these things because it all matters in the world of business, in the world of life, and how you show up every single day matters. However, sometimes we think that we are just showing up, without a purpose, or or sometimes we think that our pain doesn't have a purpose, or sometimes it just life into everybody. And I really know that when we talk about resiliency, that is something that is, I believe that it is by design. And this is why this Mental Health Matters Symposium that is coming up this Saturday, Stronger Minds, Stronger Lives, is near and dear to my heart because resilient, and today's topic for our call is going to be resilient by design, building stronger minds for a better life. And I'm going to kind of go into a little bit and give you like a little bit of a preview of what I'm going to be talking about on Saturday. And see, when we talk about I like to say the resilience reckoning, because mental resilience, I believe, really and truly is the real flex in 2025. And I'm going to tell you, so last weekend, or this last weekend, Memorial Weekend, one of my best friends got married. Shout out to Pilar and Devin in New Jersey. And then I went to Maryland to celebrate my niece graduating high school. Shout out to Abriana, I love you. And it was so incredible. And I will lie to you if I tell you that I am not going crazy because I have a conference in 2 days and I'm playing catch up. And I said, you know what? I know that for the next few days, I'm not going to sleep. And I understood that is okay. See, what I also understand is that just because I'm being productive every single day, and a lot of people think, oh, because you're highly productive, you don't need to fill your cup as much, or that doesn't mean that you have any mental health. And I didn't know how much I needed that weekend with family. And yes, I got a little bit of business squeezed in there because, it wouldn't be me if I didn't. And I got to see so many of my friends. I got to laugh like I hadn't in so long, but I just got to be present. I got to be present in the moment. I got to rejoice in the blessings of love, in the blessing of family, of friendship, of peace, of a joy that just cannot be measured. And it's so important that you're taking time, because a lot of times, see, being aware isn't enough. We need to actually put these things into practice. And this is why not only do we need people, but we need protection also for our peace, because mental resilience isn't just about recovering, it's about reinforcing the things that matter. It's about spending time with the things that actually matter. So reinforcing what those things are. And when I talk to any type of high performers, and you could too, you could talk to high performers, you could talk to parents, you could talk to entrepreneurs, you even students. And it was so amazing because, I realized the strong ones, we need it the most. We need rest the most. And in fact, I can even go down the biblical rabbit hole, right? As to why he calls us, right? God wants us to be mentally healthy. And I am so grateful that I not only got to spend that time, but also just put into practice what it is that I'm preaching, because a lot of times we just spend so much time on the go, 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 but we need to rest. And each and every single time you can hear, you know what, it is important to take rest, but how often are you really taking the rest that you need so that you can reset? And this is why when you hear, one of my favorite books, you hear it's oh my goodness, James Clear, right? You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fail to the level of your systems. And that is not just your system in business, that's also your system in life, that's also your routine, that's also what you're taking time for. And this is why, if you realize, 76% of Americans, they report symptoms of stress like headaches, fatigues, like type of one in the chat if it's speaking to anybody here, sleep issues, but only 35% are actively seeking support. When I was on TV last week talking on mental well-being, I was talking about how two to three times people that do not take care of their mental health, they see it show up in the physical. Two to three times more. So when we talk about just that resilience, when we talk about what it is that you need, make sure that you're taking the time for yourself, because it is a real thing. And maybe strength looks like different for everybody. But I ask you now, what does strength look like for you? Is it pushing through, or is it protecting your peace? And that is something that it's important for you to sit with. Okay. So moving right along, when we talk about mental resilience and when we talk about taking the time to recover and we talk about spending time with the things that matter, it's, you hear me often say, when you master the mundane, magic happens. Because when we talk about these systems, it's the routine that you have. And it's not only the routine that you have for your faith. You hear me talk all the time, right? I am getting up every morning. I am praying. I'm reading my Bible. I am meditating. I'm saying my affirmations. It's beyond just the routine that you have for your faith or your fitness or your fortune or your family or your fun, right? But it's other little things. And when we talk about, let's just focus on the mind for a second, because I do believe that there are daily mental conditioning tips that we can do for a stronger mind. So I'm gonna just talk about 4 daily habits that you can utilize that build mental muscle. And this is not only mental muscle that is going to help you in your business. This is going to be something beneficial in your life. This is going to be beneficial in your family, right? This is going to be beneficial because how you show up, it matters each and every single day. And a lot of people are like, oh, sometimes it's okay. Yes, it's okay not to be okay. But it's also okay for you to have tools and resources that you can utilize on a daily basis that you can immediately apply to your life. So, number one, silence before scroll. So when I'm talking about building mental muscle, I believe in strengthening the inside. I believe in, as you build mental muscle, you have to strengthen your heart. You have to silence the noise. So when I say silence before scroll, I mean just 5 minutes of stillness before consuming any content. Just 5 minutes of stillness before I even touch my Bible app or touch my physical Bible or touch any device. I am just in 5 minutes of stillness. Just, and sometimes it's a little bit more than that, but I just encourage you to start with 5. Start with 5. 5 minutes of stillness, 5 minutes of where you are just one with your creator, where you are just taking it all in, whether you're just taking these 5 minutes to breathe, whether you are just taking these 5 minutes to be grateful. But silence the noise, because a lot of times, see, what we see on social media is a product of what we are doom scrolling in, right? So if you go onto your explore page right now is going to show you what you look at the most. What are you looking at the most? And the reason why I'm saying silence before scroll, because we know all algorithms are not created equally. So sometimes you might go online and just see something that's going to annoy you. See something that's going to irritate you. So silencing before scroll is not only a daily habit that helps you build mental muscle, but I believe it's one of the best boundaries that you can have as a human being, because you're just honoring yourself. You're just giving yourself at least 5 minutes to be still with yourself and not let anything or anyone steal your joy, steal your peace, steal your power. Number two, nervous system awareness. So, what does that mean? Notice tension and regulate breath. So, anytime that there's any tension, if it's for whatever reason, and it may not be even tension with you, it can just be tension in the room, and you just want to break it because it's a little thick and you can't take it, right? And anytime that you notice it, just regulate your breathing. Take a few deep breaths, right? But just regulate your breathing at any moment. And even with yourself, if you ever notice yourself just getting tense or something is just, taking away that peace or that joy or that just stillness that you need, just if you notice it, just take a deep breath. Regulate your breathing at any moment. That's going to bring you back to center. Number three, energy check-ins. Ask who or what drained me today. Who or what drained me today? So there's sometimes that like I'll look up and I'm like, I don't know why I'm so tired. I don't know what it is right now. I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll get off of a call and I'm just like drained. Have you ever felt like that? It's like and I'm just like, oh no, that I gotta limit. You gotta limit those conversations sometimes. And this is why boundaries are important. Not everybody, like, access to you is a privilege, access to your energy, access to your light, access to love. It is a privilege. So I am very well aware of that. And I also know that I am on assignment here and everything has to be in alignment. And there are some people and some things that were in alignment prior that are not now. And that's okay. But you have to take the time to say, hey, you know what? Let me do an energy checking. Who drained me today? Or what did I allow to drain me today because I gave them more energy or more time or more attention than it needed? Right? Your tea. Where did you put your tea into? Your time, energy, and attention that allowed that to drain you because clearly that is not beneficial for you. Micro wins. Micro wins. So celebrate one thing that didn't fall apart today. Just one. Just one. So this is something that I am very I do this so much because I am so hard on myself. Anybody else hard on themselves? Yes, yes, absolutely. And a lot of times we're hard on ourselves because we are peak performance experts or we're used to performing at a certain space or we're used to bringing a certain level every single time. And not every single time are you going to show up, right? Like you really want to show up. And a lot of times, or sometimes you do things and it's not moving the needle fast enough. Yes, can anybody relate? Or you want to get it done faster, right? And you're telling God like I want this done and God's like not now and you got to be patient. So, it's very important that you just celebrate one thing that went right today. Maybe that just was getting the kids to school on time. Maybe that just was you not pressing snooze on your alarm 5 times this morning. Maybe that just was you posting content for the day that you didn't overthink. Maybe that just was when somebody spoke to you in a manner that you would have responded like that different a few months or a year ago, but you know what, I'm evolving. It's not worth my time. I have a better boundary because peace is my priority. Celebrate a micro win because the micro wins become big wins when you add them up. So celebrate one thing that didn't fall apart. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about the habits that strengthen you, daily mental conditioning for a stronger mind. So we said 4 daily habits. Number 1, silence before scrolling. Number 2, never nervous system awareness. Number 3, energy check-ins. And number 4, celebrating a micro win. So these practices, it not only has helped improve my mindset or change my mindset, but it also helps building momentum. It also, because those micro wins, they stack up, and the more of what you focus on the longest, it will expand. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest, right? Where energy goes, attention flows, and it just it's like that. So any and every time that I am aware of these little 4 things, it just helps me not only throughout my day, it also helps me be able to teach this to people because on a daily basis, life happens. And when we have these tools that we can put into practice, we have a different mindset when life is happening. And we're able to take a minute and say, hey, you know what? Life is not happening to me, it is happening for me each and every single day. So ask yourself, what is one habit, just one, that you can start today that builds and not breaks your resilience? And I also suggest practicing mindfulness daily because it does reduce the risk of anxiety by over 60%. Fun fact that you did not ask for today, but I'm gonna share anyway. Number 3. So, strong minds start in community. Whew, man. When they tell you you're not meant to do life alone, and you always hear me say commitment lasts longer in the context of the right community, that's in every aspect of your life. You're not meant to do life alone, and you're not meant to be mentally strong alone either. I'm so, 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 so grateful. This upcoming Mental Health Matters Symposium, when I say about community rallying up from our event sponsor, Cohatch West Tampa, to so many different sponsors from Financially Fluent to Grace's Mixologist, to Taskaroo, to Leanly, to so many people that Venue 2106. And I'm just saying off the top of my head, so please don't charge my heart to my head if I missed you, okay? But there's so many people that are just rallying up. And man, when we're talking about the speaker lineup, not only have military active and veterans that are going to be speaking. We have doctors, from psychologists to psychiatrists to sociologists. We have therapists that are going to be talking. We have high peak performance entrepreneurs, male and female. We have influencers. We have athletes. We have former NFL champions and professionals. Why? Because we understand that each and every single one of those voices matter, because each and every single one of them can relate to somebody that's on a different path. See, there are things that you may battle that I may have zero clue. And there's things that parents go through that as much as I love being a godmom and being a aunt, I have no idea about. There's things that men go through that women have no idea about, and vice versa. And when you talk about community and you talk about leaning in, these are real stories, right? These are real stories. We're going to be talking about real healing, real tools, and real resources, because here's the reality: every story is a strategy. And every panel that you're going to hear from, because we have 3 different panels this Saturday, every panel is a permission slip. And why do I say that? Because it's a permission slip for you to heal. It's a permission slip for you to rejoice. It's a permission slip for you to evolve, for you to grow, for you to let go of what has not served you, for you to prioritize your peace, for you to prioritize your mental well being. Because the more you're able to prioritize your mental well being, you're going to prioritize winning. Winning is a default. Winning becomes a byproduct of your day to day when you know that you cannot lose. So, making sure that you're around the right people. Iron does truly sharpen iron. And I'm so excited because, a lot of people, and you'll hear, and I'm excited because one of our panelists said, you know, I I had I'm saying, I'm gonna make sure I quote this right. I had fame, but I had no peace. I had fame, but I had no peace. That conversation alone is one definitely worth showing up for. So, why do I say that? Because there's a lot of people that, whether you have success and you don't have peace, whether you have been able to have fame and you don't have peace, whether you have money and you don't have peace, whether you have a lot of, from the outside looking in, everybody's looking at you smiling, but you're dying inside because you don't have peace. And it's important that you are in the room. It's important that you're around the right people. It's important that you are leaning into community. Man, it is going to be phenomenal, right? We just added a different speaker as well. Carlos Gutierrez from Financially Fluent, who's also one of our sponsors. Absolutely incredible. Going to bring so much value to our panels. It is amazing. Every single person from Kat Sanchez to Mandy Schulis, who, oh my goodness, Natalie Rosado, Dr. Andrea, Dr. Sarah, so many people, like a plethora of people. We have the one and only Mr. Dominique Rogers Camardi. We have BJ Daniels. There's going to be a plethora of people that you're going to be able to get value from. Mr. JAON, Miss Ashley Anel, right? Influencer mom. You have powerhouses of people of so many stories that I am so excited because I know you're going to leave better than how you came in. People with strong social ties are 2.5 times more likely to recover from depression. Why? Because the community shows up in moments that you can't show up for yourself. So ask yourself, who checks on your mind, not just your metrics? Who makes you feel safe enough to be soft? Something worth asking. Mental wealth over mental grind. So, how do you measure your mental success beyond your hustle? So, I believe that it's a mental wealth scorecard. And I started utilizing this, shout out to therapy. I started utilizing this about 3 years ago because I realized that I would go on these runs and I would just be on it and my performance would be through the roof. And then I didn't want to deal with anybody. I didn't want to deal with business. I didn't want to deal with work. I didn't want to deal with people. You talk about your social battery being deprived. Like my social battery wasn't drained. My social battery was exhausted, right? My social battery was completely depleted. My mental was completely depleted. Every single aspect of it. And it was because I would just wasn't taking time to heal. I wasn't taking time to be present with my emotions because, I'm Latina and we're not told what to feel our feelings. And I've learned that feeling your feelings is important because there's freedom on the other side of that. So let's talk about this mental wealth scorecard. Number one, on this mental wealth scorecard, how rested are you? How rested are you? Ask yourself that. How rested are you? Number two, how safe do you feel in your own body? A lot of people are like, I don't know how you're so disciplined to go to the gym. Granted, yes, I have a personal trainer who will charge me even if I don't show up. Shout out to Brandon Powell, the best in the bag. Way of Life Fitness has been one of the greatest blessings in my life. Having a personal trainer the last 4 years not only transformed my physical health, but my mental health. He literally is also a therapist. Seriously, if you know, you know, right? But the reality is that you have to ask yourself, how safe do you feel in your own body? Because this is the only body that we have to take us through this amazing journey of life. And I had to ask myself that. And a lot of people sometimes are like, well, you work out and all of these things, and I don't know how you do these type of workouts. Is because I want to honor my body. See, when my mom got sick the first time, it was like, okay, it was like a thyroid. We never thought that she was going to get anything worse than her thyroid issues. Why? Because she was an athlete. She was a track star. She was a softball star. She was super active in the community, all of these things. And so when she got diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer, it was very, 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 very shocking to all of us, especially us, her children, and the people that were closest to her, because we're witnessing one of the strongest, healthiest, happiest, joyful, most peaceful people we know fight this disease that just took over. And the reason why I asked, how safe do you feel in your own body, is because when you lose a parent, you start thinking about mortality. As you continue to mature, you start thinking about mortality and you ask yourself, how safe do you feel in your own body? Are you honoring your body? The fact that we get to move our body is important. And the reason why I say, how safe do you feel in your own body? It's not how safe you feel in your own body, like, oh, can you protect yourself if it's time for that? We don't do those type of things anymore. But it's beyond that. It's how safe do you feel in your own body of health? Do you feel healthy in your own body? Do you feel sane in your own body? Do you feel content? Do you feel peace? Because when you feel safe in your own body, all of these things are byproduct of it. So I think that that's important for you to ask yourself each and every single time. How much joy did you experience this week? And mind you guys don't have to do this mental wealth scorecard every day, right? This can be something that you do every week. I do it every 3 days, every 4 days, depending on like where I'm at. I might do it every 5 or every 7, depending where my mental health. And I'm just being transparent with you guys. There was a season where I was doing this every single day, right? How much joy did you experience? How much joy did you experience this week? How much joy did you experience today? My joy this week has been through the roof. Glory to God. How does that joy look like to you? That joy matters. That joy matters. That joy that nobody can steal, that happiness, that joy, that joy that nobody can take away from you. How much joy did you experience this week? Last but certainly not least, how often do you say no to protect your yes? How often do you say no to protect your yes? Let me break that down a little bit because I don't want it to go over anybody's head. Sometimes you hear me say it is in the season of, when you are getting to it or in the season that you are on it. It is the things that you say no to, right? The things are you say no to are more important than the things that you say yes to, because you're not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting what your goals are and all of these things. However, when I say how often do you say no to protect your yes, it's how often do you say no to the things that do not serve you so that you can protect your yes. Your yes is your calling. Your yes is your purpose. Your yes is your assignment. So, how often do you say no to protect your yes? Because if you're saying no, it's because it's not in alignment with your assignment. So, how often are we saying no to protect your yes? It's so important. And if you're taking notes, again, the mental health scorecard, how rested are you? How safe do you feel in your own body? How much joy did you experience this week? And how often do you say no to protect your yes? If your money is up, but your peace is down, you're not rich yet. Just saying. Fun fact that you did not ask for, but I'm going to give you anyway. Workplace stress causes $300 billion in losses annually due to burnout, absenteeism, and turnover. Yes, billion. And every dollar that's invested towards mental health gives back $4 in return. Yes, because worldwide, over $1 trillion is spent on mental health illnesses that are not treated. So ask yourself, what would your life feel like if peace was the metric of your success? Your breakthrough begins before the breakdown. Preventative mental health is the new power move. Prevention is protection. Why do I say that? Because y'all ever heard health wellness is way better than trying to find a cure? It's the same exact thing. So having things in place, because it's not a question of if, it's just a matter of when your mental health gets tested, that you need to have tools and resources that are not only going to help you get through it, but help you so that you can help somebody else, because that's really what it's about. There's no badge of honor in burnout. I learned that the hard way. Like, I'm gonna do 20 calls today. I'm gonna send out 100 messages. And then 3 days later, I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. It's probably like on day 5 that happens. I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to see my laptop. I don't want to see my phone. Burnout is real. There's no badge of honor in it. Getting help early is leadership. It's not weakness. So I'm going to name really quick a few mental health red flags. And how to pivot. I'm just tired. Every day, it's fine, but it's not. It's okay. I don't want to talk about it, but you might need to. So these are little things, right, that make a great big of deal, because early intervention in mental health reduces recovery by 40%. So what if your next breakthrough wasn't more effort, but earlier care? Just taking care of things prior to them escalating or them just getting out of control. Because sometimes you're like, I'm just tired. No, no. Maybe every day. Maybe not every day, right? Just little things, just changing the mind frame, changing the verbiage, right? The mental health movement is not something that is just a phase, right? It's a movement that we're creating together. And when we talk about stronger minds, better lives, when we talk about ending the stigma, when we talk about mental health matters for each and every single one, this is the legacy, right? This Saturday, when we're gathering in Tampa to declare that our minds matter, to declare that real people need healing too, that our healing matters, that our stories matter, and we're not doing life or leadership or business or careers or family or community alone. We're not. When my mom transitioned, when first of all, when my mom first got diagnosed with cancer, with stage 4 cancer during the pandemic, and business was going bankrupt at the same time, and all of these changes, I had to tap into my mental health more than anything. Prayer was not enough. I felt like I was losing my mind. I am so grateful that community rallied up behind me. When you see me being such an advocate for this, it's because it's something that it's near and dear to my heart. When my mom transitioned to heaven, if it wasn't because I started prioritizing my mental health during the pandemic by just working out, shout out to Marco. We was like a run club. We were all running 2 miles every day. And that was like I only had 20, 30 minutes while somebody came and stayed with her because I couldn't leave her unattended. Or my brother was coming from lunch and I was doing that. But I started prioritizing my mental health during that season. Little did I know that that was going to become one of the non-negotiables in my life, because when she transitioned to heaven, it's not what only allowed me to survive during that season, but to thrive. And if it wasn't because of prioritizing my mental health, I wouldn't be who you see on TV. I wouldn't be who you see showing up on stages. I wouldn't be who you see showing up on these calls. I wouldn't be who you see showing up at all. So I'm super passionate about mental health because people need a safe space. They need resources, they need tools, they need communities, but they need to know that their voices and their stories matter. They need to know that their pain and their feelings are valid, and they need to know that they're not in this alone, because this isn't just an event, it's going to be an experience, and it's a movement that we're starting. We're raising generations that lead with empathy, that live with intention, and protect their minds like their lives depend on it, because it does. You don't just deserve to survive. We all deserve to thrive. And that's why stronger minds build better lives. And each and every single one of you guys are proof of that. So make sure you tune in. Breakfast has been served. Make sure you tune in, whether you are joining us live in Tampa Bay or you are joining us virtual. Make sure you guys get registered. Blessings on blessings. And if this added any value to you today, please feel free to share with a friend, share with your tribe. Again, we spoke about resilience. We spoke about the habits that strengthen us. We spoke about strong minds start in community, mental wealth over mental grind, and your breakthrough begins before the breakdown. The mental health movement we're creating, you get to be a part of it too. Blessings on blessings, and I'll see you guys Saturday. Take care.